ninakuombea akuponye Mwenyezi Mungu Muumba. Kipenzi Kenya, umoja wako ulidhiri kama gaidi umeyashinda. Nakuombea yatapita haya, nakuombea yatapita haya, nakuombea yatapita haya. Asante sana Baba Raisi kwa kusimama na Kenya.
Na ni matayarisho tu yale ya mwisho, kipindi cha lala salama cha matayarisho, na very soon when our guest akiingia tutajulishwa na alafu program itaanza.
Na sisi tupo polisi na amani, tulitunze taifa. Daktari nao wako hospitalini kulitibu taifa. Mama,
ninachotuhimiza ni kwamba polisi wameamua kufanya kazi. Tuliamua kitambo, lakini tumeamua tuongeze bidii. Tuwe karibu na wewe, tukusaidie wakati unapotuhitaji. Tusimame na wewe wakati unatuhitaji. Na basi Kenya izidi kuendelea mbele, ambako tukiwa na amani
is good.
Tunazidi kuenjoy environment ya kutafuta mapeni haya.
Baba, naomba baraka kwenyu niondoke mimi. Dada, brother man, hebu someni kwa bidii ndio mje mjini hapa. Hapa nyumbani sisi sio matajiri, ila tunayo akili. Chochote unachohitaji ukikifanyia kazi, yeye atakibariki. Ila wewe
niruhusu niwajulishe kwamba director wa band Bwana Wambura yuko ndani ya nyumba,
na kila unapoomba niombe,
akiwa na mdogo wake ama naibu wake Bwana Mrashui,
kwani maombi yangu pekee haya,
of course, na wale wanasaidiana naye.
niombe nikuombe, kwani maombi yangu pekee hayawezi.
Ukisikia hizo kelele kwa mbali ambazo zinaitwa nini,
Every day all day
tulikuwa tukizita 99 wakati tulikuwa wadogo, unajua kwamba haya basi watu wa police band, officers police band, wakati umewajia ambao mgeni wetu mwaliko wa kikao cha leo. Ukisikia hizo 99 vile tulikuwa tunaziita tukiwa wadogo, basi ni kwamba huwa limealika nini, limealika mkoko.
Basi mabibi na mabwana, naomba endeleeni kuwajulisha kwamba wageni wetu wa heshima wengi wamefika. Wakati wowote mgeni mkuu wa heshima atakuwa amefika mahali hapa, ni maana pia tuanze kuwatambua wafadhili wa mradi huu. Tuko na Reinvent ni shirika ambalo linafanya masuala ya huduma kwa kina mama, na pia wanahusika kwa mambo mengi, kupeana elimu na ile tunaitwa advocacy kuhusu rights za kina mama. Pia tuko na the Professional Association of Criminologists in Kenya. Pia nao wametusaidia sana kwa kupeana hizi habari kwa wananchi, wakishirikiana na ile inaitwa KAK TV. Wametusaidia sana kwa publicity, wakati ambapo tunapoeneza habari kama hizi inakuwa si rahisi. Hivyo basi tukipata ufadhili wa our sponsors, tunawaheshimu na tunawashukuru sana. Hivyo basi tunapoendelea kuangoja wageni wetu, ni wajuze kwamba kuna ule representative pia wa Chief Court Registrar, na yeye pia amekuwa represented na Madam Caroline Kabucho. Tayari madam yuko ndani ya nyumba. Madam, karibu sana. Na wageni wengine wote nakaribishwa. Hivi karibuni mgeni wetu Haishma atakuwa ameingia mahali hapa. Endelea kujisikia nyumbani pamoja na Policare. Policare hii niliwaeleza kwamba ni ufupi ya Police Care, yaani huduma ambayo polisi wanapeana kwa wadhuriwa wa dhuluma za kingono. Hii ni mradi mpya ambao tumeanza pamoja na wafadhili wetu, na tunaamini kwamba kwa kushirikiana na kila mmoja wetu, huu ni mradi ambao utaingia katika kila nyumba ya Mkenya katika nchi yetu tukufu ya Kenya. Karibuni sana.
Haya, asante sana afande. Uliyosema ni kweli kabisa. Hakuna urongo hapo. Ni kwamba police huwa ina care, wakisema kwa lugha ya Sheng. Najulishwa sasa wale ambao wanapaswa kuwa wamevichukua viti vyao waanze kukaa, tuanze kuketi dakika yoyote kuanzia sasa hivi. Mgeni wetu ambao unasikia kwenye lango kuu pale akikaribishwa, naomba wale wote wanapaswa kuwa wamechukua viti vyao, tafadhali jamani tuketi. Tuketi, tuanze kuketi. Tuanze kukaa. Naam, tuendelee kukaa kwa muda wote sasa hivi.
Omuse.
Naam, hujambo mtazamaji na karibu katika makala haya. Kwa sasa tuko katika eneo la Old Nairobi area katika kituo cha polisi, ambapo hii leo idara ya polisi inazindua mpangilio ambao unajiita Policare. Policare ni idara ambayo itakuwa inashughulikia masuala ya fujo au vita ambavyo vimekuwa vikisababisha vya kijinsia na ndoa, na vimekuwa vikionekana sana haswa wakati huu ambapo tumekuwa na visa vingi vya watu kukaa manyumbani, kukosa kwenda kazini, na tumeona kwamba wasichana wengi wameweza kubakwa, watoto pamoja na visa mbalimbali ambavyo vimeweza kuripotiwa. Na hii leo shughuli ambayo inafanyika ni kwamba idara ya polisi inawakaribisha mkuu wa shirika la National Gender and Equality Commission, Daktari Mutinda. Tunaye seneta wa Makueni Mutula Kilonzo Jr. na pia seneta wa kaunti ya Nairobi Johnson Sakaja ambao wameweza kufika mahali hapa pamoja na viongozi wengine. Tunaye pia naibu inspekta mkuu wa polisi Edward Mbugua ambaye amekuwa pia nyuma ya mpango huu. tuko na baadhi ya mashirika ambayo wameweza kufanikisha siku hii ama ambao wanahusika katika hii shughuli ya kuweza kuona ya kwamba Policare inaanza kufanya kazi kwa kasi, ikianza na jiji la Nairobi. Tunao Professional Criminologists Association of Kenya, tunao Kenya Police Service, na tukiangalia upande huo wa kuume ni kwamba kuna vibanda ambavyo vinaonyesha baadhi ya hayo mashirika ambayo yameweza kushirikiana pamoja na CAC TV, pamoja na idara ya polisi, pamoja na Professional Criminologists Association of Kenya, ili kuhakikisha ya kwamba wanaleta utaratibu ambao utawezesha huduma ya polisi kushughulikia visa ambavyo vimekuwa vikiripotiwa mara kwa mara na familia mbalimbali, mambo ambayo yameweza kufanyika kule manyumbani, lakini suluhisho hazijakuwa zikipatikana. CAC TV itakupeperushia hafla hii moja kwa moja. Kumbuka unaweza pia kutupata katika mtandao wa Facebook CAC TV Kenya, pia katika mtandao wa YouTube CAC TV Kenya, ili tuweze kukupasha yale yote yanayojiri moja kwa moja kutoka katika eneo la Old Nairobi area. Msafara umeweza kuanza pale, na muona pia mwakilishi wa kina mama katika kaunti ya Nairobi, Mheshimiwa Esther Passaris, ambaye ameandamana na Mheshimiwa Mutula Kilonzo Jr, seneta wa Makueni. Pia tunaye seneta wa kaunti ya Nairobi almaarufu Super Senator Johnson Sakaja, na tunaye Daktari Mutinda ambaye ni mwenyekiti wa National Gender and Equality Commission, tayari kuweza kuanza hafla hii. Upande wangu wa kushoto naona maafisa wa polisi ambao wameweza kuandaa gwaride la heshima ili kuona kwamba siku hii inaweza kufana. Mtazamaji, kukurudisha nyuma tu ni kwamba miezi miwili iliyopita Rais Uhuru Kenyatta katika hotuba yake kwa taifa aliweza kuzungumzia masuala ambayo yamezidi kuathiri jamii, na masuala haya rais aliweza kuzungumzia masuala ya jinsia na pia fujo kadhaa ambazo zimeweza kuleta majeraha na hata watu wengine kuweza kupoteza maisha. Na hii imekuwa jambo ambalo limekuwa likimsumbua kila mmoja katika jamii, kuangalia jinsi wanaweza kupata suluhisho. Na unapoangalia upande wangu wa nyuma utaona ya kwamba maandishi makubwa Policare, alafu pale chini wanasema priceless dignity. Ni hatua tu ambayo shirika au utumishi wa polisi nchini Kenya wameweza kuleta kwa uhusiano pamoja na mashirika mengine, kuona ya kwamba wanazungumzia pamoja na kuleta suluhisho kwa mambo haya yanayozidi kujiri. Mtazamaji, kumbuka matangazo haya yako moja kwa moja kupitia runinga ya CAC TV. Hebu tutizame jinsi maafisa wa polisi wameweza kuandaa gwaride hili la heshima, kisha tutaendelea kukupasha mengi zaidi. Jina langu ni Cornelius Omuse na tuko tayari kukuletea matangazo haya. Naeleza kwamba labda kwa kukumbusha tu kidogo ni kwamba tunazidi kuzingatia maagizo ya Ministry of Health ambayo inasema tu social distance, tunawe mikono kwa sanitizer, kama hauna maji karibu nawe, tuwe na mask ambapo uko kwa public kama saizi hivi, na tusiwe wengi sana. Ukiangalia pia hapa hatuko wengi sana, kwa hivyo ni muhimu kukumbushana. Haya, nikubalini nialike police band. Police band, karibuni, tupe uhondo. kuwakaribisha viongozi ambao wameweza kuzuru kibanda hiki au eneo hili la Policare ili kuweza kuletea moja kwa moja uweze kufahamu Policare ni nini na lina lengo gani katika jamii, haswa kuhusiana na masuala ya jinsia na jinsi familia nyingi zimeweza kuripoti fujo mbalimbali.
Tu kama nilivyowakumbusha ni kwamba
tunatazama pale ni maafisa wa polisi
General Salute wakati mgeni wetu atawasili hapa, alafu tafuatiliwa na wimbo wa taifa ule wa Kenya na wa Jumuiya ya East Africa.
Moja kwa moja anaelekezwa, anaandamana na mwakilishi wa kina mama katika kaunti ya Nairobi Esther Passaris, Super Senator Johnson Sakaja, Mheshimiwa Mutula Kilonzo Jr. kutoka Makueni, pamoja na viongozi wengine ambao wameweza kuandamana ili kuona kwamba wanazuru eneo hili la Policare. Seneta wa Nairobi pale, mwakilishi wa kina mama Esther Passaris, pia anaweka alama yake katika eneo hili la Policare. Seneta Johnson Sakaja anachukua awamu yake pia kuweza kuweka alama kuwa miongoni mwa wale waliokaribishwa katika hatua hizi ambazo huduma ya polisi pamoja na washirika wanaendelea kuzindua Policare, ambayo tulivyoeleza hapo awali itakuwa likishughulikia masuala ya kijinsia, fujo za kijinsia, vita za kijinsia. Seneta wa Makueni Mutula Kilonzo Jr. pia anaweka alama yake katika eneo hili la Policare, tayari katika hafla ya leo ambayo wameweza kupewa mwaliko. Na kuelezeni tu ni kwamba Seneta Johnson Sakaja ameanza shughuli hii pamoja na mwenzake Esther Passaris, na juma lijalo Seneta Mutula Kilonzo Jr. pia atazindua zoezi hili katika kaunti ya Makueni, tayari kuweza kuhamasisha kaunti zingine pia kuweza kufuata mfano huo.
You'll continue going together with him. You'll show him the way dear Lord. And above all, you give him your praise. That will be sufficient for him. And others, dearly, as you praise him, will also enjoy the fruits of his hard labor. And all of us, you say, that dear Lord, we have seen him. Continue being together with him. Continue, dear Lord, even those who are under him, to support him fully. And all in all, we know that we will be able to stand firm and serve the community, dear Lord, according to your will. In the name of God, the Father, Son, and of the Holy Spirit, we pray and believe. Amen.
Shukran band.
To just let us know what is happening here. This is a small pilot model. It is not the ideal model for the moment, but we are going to have a better one once we construct our own. But our DIG allowed us to showcase on this, just to let us know how Policare will be managed. When you report to Policare as a victim, you'll be received and we'll use integrated data management. So once the victim reports, you'll only report one person, not like the current mechanism and process that we have, where we report, we tell you to go to hospital, go to office, go to this office, and then we tell you you have a lot of movements to do. By the time you call for your P3, you've spoken to about 20 or 30 people, repeating the same story, re-traumatizing the victim. That would be a thing of the past. Because once you report here, we will have nurses inside here, we will have medical people, we will have our investigators. They will, through intranet, they'll be able to get all that information. So once you tell us what has happened to you, this information goes to them, to all these offices. So when you're getting there, the forensic analyst already knows what kind of sample he needs from you. The nurse already knows what kind of sample she needs to take from you. The counselor already knows what you've gone through, so she will just give you counseling and therapy to make you feel comfortable. Once the samples are collected from you, you know that our victims, we tell them, don't take bath. We are going to have a bathroom there. Immediately the sample is collected, the victim will take bath, pick back her dignity, and she's ready for counseling. So you don't have, we've made our victims mobile scenes of crime, because the scene of crime is where the evidence is. And this person who has been raped, rape or defilement or incest is not like breaking a door, where you can call a carpenter to come and replace. When a victim has been raped, it's not like a person whose laptop has been snatched and you buy back another. The dignity of this person goes away with the offense. The crime scene remains with the person. So when we keep telling them move from this office to another one, we are making them mobile scenes of crime. Policare is going to bring that out. Everything will be done here in a one-stop center. And this will be the journey for the victim. From the community, the victim will come from the community, come to Policare, all the process I've explained will be done. After it's done, the victim will either be sent to referral hospital. If the victim has some injuries that need medical attention, you know that women are suffering with fistula. You know we have some rapists who leave and finish the offense and put some bottles or some things in there. So those injuries need medical attention. So Policare may not be able to do that, but we will send you to a referral hospital. If not that, we send you to a safe house. So with your permission and with all the senators and the lawmakers here, we don't have safe houses in Kenya. We only have one safe house in Makueni. And that is why the senator here is very passionate. I'm appealing to my senator because you're here. We need a safe house in Nairobi, owned by the government and not owned by individuals. Because even those victims who go to the individual, they also report re-traumatizing and abuse. We have seen somebody came from another country, put a safe house and started abusing children. We don't want that. We have to be accountable. This nation has to be accountable. The perpetrator will come to Policare. We will need a magistrate here. When we have the magistrate, the case will be processed here. We have cells here, and Milimani Court is just a call away. We'll send you to prison immediately, and justice for the victim. Then, if the victim, once processed, Mr. Mota will tell you about data processing, once processed, can be sent to rehabilitation. There are people who commit these offenses and they are under influence of other drugs, or they are habitual offenders in other ways. We will need to know how many pedophiles we have in Kenya. This data management will allow us to do that. And this is the multi-sectoral that we have. We have the police will provide safety and security for the victim. Then we will have a medical legal, a nurse attached to this center. We will have psychosocial, including even spiritual support. These are the community members. Then finally, we need legal justice for the victim. It doesn't have to take 2 years for you. Once you conceive after the offense, you start going to court with your child as an exhibit. It should be a thing of the past, not again with Policare. So I want to ask Mr. Amwata quickly to tell us how we will manage data at Policare. And this, we hope it will be replicated to other counties in the country. Thank you.
DAG, honorable senators, and all those invited, all protocols observed. I happen to be a consultant for the project, and especially in the areas of digitization and information management, having also participated in various other programs on integrating information. So basically, and in 1 minute, the entire project seeks to harness the capabilities of the various stakeholders, and that includes the information, the data that they capture, they store, and that is very useful for purposes of SGPB. So in this case, what is important is the chain of custody of the information captured at whatever point, and it's integrated in one particular area. We can now be able to trace where this victim reported the rape, incest, or everything, and through that method we have what is known as one version of the truth. Everybody has the same idea about the same incident, not where there is disparate reporting and the data capture system. So once somebody comes here, the information will be captured at this center. There will be, of course, ICT fully in use, but this may not be the only place where we have information captured. And you have police stations, you have gender violence recovery centers, and all the stakeholders will tell you how to capture information. So that this will be one of the access modules where information captured in all the other areas will be able to be seen and verified. What is important in a situation where there's digitized capture of information is the integrity of that data and access privileges. So not everybody, because some of these cases are very sensitive, not everybody will be able to access that information without proper admin rights. Some can delete. So we want to ensure the chain of custody of information, just like the chain of custody of the evidence, is also catered for. So finally, sir, there is the issue of federated databases. Federated databases operate in the sense that you are allowed to maintain your own data and the integrity thereof, but then you let other people access that information for their purpose, whether it is the court system, whatever, the forensic experts. That is what has brought on board the issue of whole of government, whole of society approach. We have different mandates, different capabilities. How do we harvest all these into a one central place where everybody accesses that information? So that's why you note in this paper, it is explain one of the reasons why we can't address GBP is the issue of we lack central data processing. Everybody has different versions of the truth, pieces of information. How do we integrate this? So this one will be a very critical component. So thank you. I think we are done with that.
We were waiting. With your hand, because we were waiting. Thank you. He said, oh, we can sit down? Okay. We will take you around and then ask some where?
I've been there. I've been here twice.
Thank you, madam. With your permission, I want to take you around. You just explained how the data will be managed, but I'll take you around.
And the reception.
Yes. Now, we renovated this place, so it may not be the ideal place. So this just for the model, we are going to have a better place. Mr. Mutula said his Makueni will be seamless. They would have small corridors, but for now, this is what we have. Oh, okay, then now wheelchair. Okay, let's send back a little bit.
What you need to know
Yes.
is enough for a wheelchair.
Yes.
Because we also have
Yes, and that's why we have to model this so that we can have the wheelchair come down. Yes. And in the event that the person is not able to come, our data is digitalized, our officers will speak to the person and assist. Yes. but this is just a model. The real building is coming up. Okay. Thank you. So when the victim comes, that will be our reception or the lobby, or what we call in the police station, a police report office. But we want to change the narrative. We don't want to make it look so police, to bring back the victim's trust with us and to build a good rapport. So when they report there, already the investigator through intranet will know what the person A is reporting and the person who is coming in. Okay, so they will come in here. My rooms are still empty. So here, there is enough space. Yes, this one. So when the victim comes here, there will be a forensic investigator who will now go through the report that has come in. And through trauma interview, we will be able to establish whether the offense was completed. Because we have attempted rape, attempted defilement, indecent assault, but the one that now we need to collect forensic evidence is where the offense has been completed. There has been penetration. Okay. So once the investigator understands that there is a case, the offense has been completed, not immediately it has not completed, and then it requires forensic evidence.
Oh, Johnny Kidogo, I think I can also explain a few of these others. Yeah, I did that.
5, 6 people. So inside here, we are going to have there will be a nurse take the socks. Police will not allow to do that. So the evidence will be collected by a trained nurse. Of course, trauma informed will not be okay. And then here, we are thinking we are going to have a small forensic lab. Little, because it's just about connection, preservation, and presentation. That's how we use our cases. Our officers are good on them. They do everything, but the evidence is handled by so many people. So we just need a small fridge here. Government chemist is across the road. So our DIT is your police right now. Where does the small, hopefully if the evidence has been collected at night, preservation, so that it does not my rooms are like this, as empty as they are. I'm just saying, Madam, hakuna sina amecheka. Nakusikia huyu. Ni nini wa huyu? Not a difference. Yes. Just a regular fridge. Yes. Yeah. I'm sure that we can organize. So even there, we don't have no furniture. But there's Mama County.
Baba County has no money.
No. Baba County has friends.
He has got connections and friends. He has got friends. Yeah.
You don't know. Sorry to say this. But I say, Honorable Sakata, I see what I did to you. I know how you can. It's not the first time. But I'm saying, you have 17 constituencies in the government. Tell them, see here, just 1 million. Just one, not two. Just one. That's what you want to do.
Yes. The CDF is supposed to make a stations as part of their mandate.
Yes.
It's a question of the police. The CDF. Yeah. What exactly?
This is the just come the same thing.
And the here has actually sent us
We are now it's part of
toilets, showers. So we're working together. We've not perfected the model, but the fact is the journey
Mtazamaji, kwa sasa viongozi wanaelekezwa katika idara au sehemu mbalimbali. Kwa mfano, kwa sasa kuna jumba la forensic ambalo litakuwa likifanya utafiti wa kisayansi wakati ambapo mtu ameweza kuripoti kesi kwa polisi. Hapo ataweza kuelekezwa na kuweza kupewa fursa ya kuelezea mambo mawili matatu. Kwa sasa viongozi wanazidi kuelekezwa na idara ya polisi jinsi kituo hiki cha Policare kitakuwa kikiwashughulikia watu. Na hii leo si uzinduzi rasmi, bali ni siku ambayo baadhi ya viongozi, maseneta na viongozi wa idara mbalimbali za serikali kama vile National Police Service Commission, National Gender and Equality Commission wameweza kuwakilishwa katika hafla hii ambayo inaendelea hapa katika sehemu ya Old Nairobi area.
This is now to establish the scale by the victims, what kind of nursing is required either here or referral. The beauty of this is that we have so many medical facilities. You don't need to reinvent the wheel.
Kinyume na hapo awali, mtazamaji, kama jinsi tulivyokueleza, ni kwamba baadhi ya kesi za kijinsia na za kinyumbani zilipokuwa zikiripotiwa katika idara ya polisi, kulikuwa na mchanganyiko wa mambo, kwa sababu hakungekuwa pengine na hali nzuri au hali njema ya kuweza kutathmini na kujua kiini na pia kupata ushahidi. Lakini kutokana na huu uzinduzi ambao unaendelea kwa sasa wa Policare, kuna matumaini makubwa ya kwamba haitakuwa rahisi ambapo viongozi wamekuja kukagua jinsi shughuli hii inavyoendelea, na hii Old Nairobi area itakuwa ikiwashughulikia wakazi wa kaunti ya Nairobi. Huyo ni Superintendent Pauline Ndaritu ambaye anaendelea kuonyesha viongozi jinsi Policare itakavyokuwa ikiendesha shughuli zake. Na naibu inspekta mkuu wa polisi Edward Mbugua anaongoza idara ya polisi katika shughuli hii siku ya leo. Mwakilishi wa kina mama kaunti ya Nairobi Esther Pasaris, seneta wa kaunti ya Nairobi Johnson Sakaja, pamoja na seneta wa kaunti ya Makueni Mutula Kilonzo Jr. wako hapa. Pia tuna commissioner wa National Police Service Commission, tunaye National Gender and Equality Commission pia wameweza kufika katika hafla hii ya kuweza kuonyeshwa jinsi utaratibu unavyoendelea. Na kwa upande mwingine kule tunaona maafisa wa polisi ambao wanaendelea na bendi tamu tamu ambazo ni baadhi tu ya utumbuizo ambao umeweza kushirikishwa katika hafla hii muhimu ya leo. Ni mradi wa kihistoria ambao kulingana na wadadisi wa mambo ni kwamba itasaidia kupeana suluhisho mbalimbali kwa familia mbalimbali ambazo zimekuwa zikikumbwa na changamoto ya kuweza kupata suluhisho wakati ambapo wameweza kukumbana na fujo au vita za kijinsia. The National Police Service pamoja na washirika wake Professional Criminologists Association of Kenya, National Gender and Equality Commission pamoja na mashirika mengi ambayo yameweza kuja pamoja ili kuweza kushughulikia swala hili. Kwa sasa viongozi wanakagua vibanda mbalimbali. Kibanda cha kwanza ni the Kenya Police Service.
Mahali ulipo kama unaweza klapia bendi.
Na mtazamaji, ukiangalia pale utaona the Kenya Police Service wameweza kupatiana nambari ambayo ukitaka usaidizi wowote ni 0800730999 wakati ambapo unahitaji msaada wote kuhusiana na dhulma au vita za kijinsia. Nakumbuka nambari hiyo wakati ambapo utapiga haina malipo yoyote. Viongozi wanazidi kuelezwa kwa kina yale yote yanayohusu Policare katika eneo hili la Old Nairobi area. Mtazamaji, kwa sasa tunaelekea katika kibanda cha pili ambacho ni baadhi ya washirika wa mradi huu Thriving Families Kenya, ambao wanasema kwamba they present men with safe spaces to interact and discuss men issues. Na pengine mchakato ambao umekuwa ukiendelea mara kwa mara, ukiangalia kama umekuwa ukifuatilia kipindi cha Crime Must Fall Show katika CAK TV, utagundua kwamba nafasi ya mwanamume katika familia na haswa katika dhulma za kijinsia imeweza kutajwa pakubwa, na pia Thriving Families waliweza kujiunga pamoja na the Kenya Police Service ili kuona ya kwamba wanachangia mawazo au maoni ambayo yataenda kwa umbali kuweza kuleta marekebisho na njia mwafaka ya kuweza kusuluhisha baadhi ya ugomvi ambao unatokea katika ndoa na pia katika familia. Kibanda cha pili pale ni the Thriving Families Kenya.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Ben. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I request all of us to mix and sit together.
Mtazamaji, kibanda cha tatu ni cha Professional Criminologists Association of Kenya, PCAK, ambao wameweza pia kuchukua nafasi kubwa zaidi katika harakati hii ya kuweza kuzindua Policare. Professional Criminologists Association of Kenya, kama tulivyoeleza hapo awali, wamekuwa katika mstari wa mbele katika kufanya utafiti, na pia tunapozungumza kila siku ya Jumanne kuanzia saa 2 ya usiku hadi saa 3 huwa wanaelekeza kipindi katika runinga ya CAK TV kinachoitwa Crime Must Fall Show. Hiki tu ni kipindi ambacho kinawaleta pamoja wasomi pamoja na watafiti ambao wana ujuzi wa muda mrefu katika masuala ya uhalifu na haswa sana pia katika masuala ya dhulma za kijinsia. Wameweza kufika hapa pia, na kwa muda mfupi ujao watakuwa wanaeleza naibu wa inspekta mkuu wa polisi Edward Mbugua pamoja na maseneta waliofika hapa na mwakilishi wa kina mama katika kaunti ya Nairobi pamoja na makamishna kutoka National Police Service Commission na National Gender and Equality Commission, ambao pia wanazidi kuelezwa haswa ni nafasi gani ambayo mashirika haya kwa ushirikiano wao na idara ya polisi wameweza kuja kwa pamoja kuchangia kuona ya kwamba jamii haswa taifa la Kenya linaangamiza dhulma za kijinsia. Hapa jijini Nairobi katika Old Nairobi area ni piloting project tu, hapa ndio mwanzo, na jinsi tunavyofahamishwa ni kwamba juma lijalo shughuli hii itaweza kuelekezwa moja kwa moja hadi katika kaunti ya Makueni, na hiyo ndio sababu pengine ambayo ilimfanya seneta wa Makueni Mutula Kilonzo Junior kuweza kuambatana pamoja na mwenzake wa kaunti ya Nairobi katika hafla hii, ili pengine aweze kujijulia mawili matatu atakapokuwa pia anaendeleza shughuli kule Makueni. Kwa sasa viongozi wameweza kufika katika kibanda cha Professional Criminologists Association of Kenya, na namuona pale Daktari Mutinda kutoka National Gender and Equality Commission. Na pengine kwa kifupi tu, National Gender and Equality Commission ni idara ya serikali ambayo imepewa mamlaka kikatiba kuweza kushughulikia masuala yote yanayohusiana na jinsia. Kwa muda mrefu katika historia ya taifa la Kenya na pia sehemu nyingi ulimwenguni, kumekuwa na tetesi ya kwamba utapata watoto wa jinsia ya kike pengine wanadhulumiwa, hawapewi haki sawa na watoto wa kiume. Na hivi majuzi tumeanza kuona pia kwamba kuna tetesi ya kwamba watoto wa jinsia ya kiume hawapewi nafasi sawa na watoto wa jinsia ya kike. Na haya yote serikali kulingana na katiba mpya ya Kenya waliweza kuzindua idara maalum inaitwa National Gender and Equality Commission. Kando na kushughulikia jinsia, inasonga mbele ili kuweza kushughulikia usawa wa kijinsia. Na hiyo ndio sababu mambo ya dhulma za kijinsia yakiweza kutokea, pia National Gender and Equality Commission wanajitolea kuona ya kwamba wanashirikiana na haya mashirika kuleta suluhisho katika jamii. Wameweza kumaliza shughuli yao katika kibanda cha Professional Criminologists Association of Kenya, na kwa sasa wanaenda katika kibanda kinachofuata, inaitwa Arthur's Dream Autism Trust, ambapo pia wataweza kuelezwa yale ambayo wanajihusisha nayo katika kuhakikisha kwamba jamii ni jamii ya watu na watu wanaishi kwa njia ambayo inaonyesha utu, bali si hali ambayo haifahamiki. Mara nyingi watu husema unyama, lakini ukiangalia pia wanyama katika makundi yao huwa wanaishi kwa amani. Ndovu akiwa na ndovu wenzake, nyati akiwa na nyati wenzake, simba akiwa na simba wenzake. Mtazamaji, shughuli hii inaendelea kwa kasi na kila mmoja anajishughulisha na mambo ambayo yalimleta hapa kwa siku ya leo. Kila mmoja yuko tayari kuweza kuonyesha ulimwengu mzima nafasi yao ni nini haswa katika kupambana na dhulma za kijinsia na ndoa. Kwa sasa viongozi wamefika katika kibanda cha Arthur's Dream Autism Trust kabla ya kuelekea katika sehemu kuu ambayo kutakuwa na hotuba mbalimbali ya viongozi ambao wameweza kufika hapa. Mtazamaji, kumbuka matangazo haya na kujeni moja kwa moja kupitia runinga ya CAK TV katika Signet Channel, na pia katika mtandao wa Facebook CAK TV Kenya, pia mtandao wa YouTube ni CAK TV Kenya. Utaweza kutupata kwa njia iliyo shwari kabisa, uweze kujijulia baadhi ya uvumbuzi, baadhi ya mashirika yasiyo kiserikali na serikali kupitia idara ya huduma ya polisi nchini, ambayo wanazidi kuleta uwiano, maridhiano na njia mwafaka ya kuweza kuangamiza dhulma za kijinsia. kibanda cha mwisho mtazamaji ni Women in Safety and Excellence, ambapo pia viongozi wameweza kuelekezwa. Hicho ndicho kibanda cha mwisho kabla ya viongozi kuweza kupata nafasi ya kuketi kusubiri hotuba ambayo itaweza kutolewa na waandalizi pamoja na washiriki wa mradi huu ambao ndio kwa sasa karibu unafikia hatua ya uzinduzi.
Haya, tusimame kwa general salute kindly. Karibuni waheshimiwa. Madam MC, karibu.
Thank you very much, all of you, for gracing this occasion. Our chief guest this morning, the Deputy Inspector General of Police, Mr. Edward Mbogwa, CBS, MBS, OGW, NDCK. We also have Senator of Nairobi, Senator Johnson Sakaja. We also have the Senator of Makueni, Senator Mutula Kilonzo. We also have the Nairobi Women Rep, Honorable Esther Pasaris, the NGEC Chairperson, Dr. Joyce Mutinda, the NGEC CEO, Ms. Betty Nyabuto. We have the Reinvent Chief of Party, Ms. Jackie Mbogo, the Registrar of Magistrate Courts Representative, Caroline Kabucho, and all protocols observed. We will be expecting the CAS held shortly. We are hoping she's going to join us. Welcome again to this Policare concept. And I want now to welcome Zipporah Nderito, Superintendent of Police. No, I want now to welcome Mr. Daniel Wadhome from the IPSTC to give us the concept model of the project. Dr. Wadhome, please.
Right. Thank you so much. Our chief guest, GEC CEO, Dr. Jess Mutinda, the Nairobi City County Senator, Honorable Johnson Sakaja, the Makueni County Senator, Honorable Mutula Kilonzo Jr., Nairobi City Women Rep, Honorable Esther Pasaris, the DIG KPS, who is our host for this event, Mr. Mbugwa, GEC CEO, Betty Nabuto, Reinvent Chief of Party, my sister Jackie, I recognize you, the senior officers from the National Police Service who are here, members of the civil society organizations who are also represented here, and all protocols observed. Hamjambo. Good morning then. I'm happy to stand before you this morning to speak about what we are breaking the ground today about, and that is Policare. My duty is very small, and it's just to talk about the genesis of this initiative that we are breaking the ground today with the National Police Service, and we are calling it Policare. Policare is an acronym. Policare is an acronym drawn from two words, that is police and care. So it basically means police cares, or police are caring now. Remember, the police has transformed from a force to a service, and now we are talking about police caring. And this is an idea that was conceptualized at the International Peace Support Training Center, where I work as a gender specialist. And that was when one of the officers from the National Police Service was attached there. And because we were the hosts of the first meeting of the Policare concept development, I was chosen to be the chair of the Policare initiative, and I still remain the chair of the Policare initiative till when we midwife this thing, and then we hand it over to the National Police Service and the other stakeholders to run it. So this is an idea that began some time ago. Last year around October, that is when the conceptualization began. We have made major milestones, but we still have a long way to go. Already we have been given a site, you have seen the site, which I call a work in progress. We are yet to make it the ideal model, because what we want is a model in Nairobi City County which can be replicated in the other counties, so that we can have a one-stop care shop or one-stop center for matters of sexual and gender-based violence. So this, we want to do this right. We want to do this perfect so that the other counties can emulate what the city county has done through this model. So what we want to see on the ground is what the dignitaries have been taken through. The model on paper, we want to see how it can be translated into an actual thing that is workable. I'm proud the far we have gone, but I'll say it is not yet time to celebrate. We have still a long way to go. We still need the structure with more rooms. We need human resources. It is a multisectoral concept, so we need so many people from different specialities to equip this one, or this center, with the human resources that we need. Once we operationalize, we need to run it. So that is a question of sustainability. Starting the Policare Center is very easy. But how do we ensure that it runs? How do we ensure that it continues? How do we ensure that it is not joining a catalog of other white elephants, which we have seen? So that is the question that we need to answer, and that is the question that the women rep, the senators, GEC, Rainevent, and other stakeholders will have to help us deal with. And that means what? We cannot rely only on the exchequer to sustain this center. We'll need the private sector, we need the civil society organizations, we'll need individuals to support the running of this center so that it can be that model that we want. Thus far, we have only one sponsor in place, but they are sponsoring or supporting only one thing, and that is development of the necessary documents, that is the policy, the strategy, and the SOPs. That is what we have. But as you walked around, you saw there is no furniture, there is nothing in that center. And whatever we need is going to come from us seated on this side, and this side, and others who are far away from here, but through your networks, we'll be able to reach them. So our request, or my request as the chair of the technical working group for Policare, is that it is not yet time to celebrate. We still need a lot of support, technical support, and material support to actualize this dream of Policare. So thank you so much, and I hope I've challenged and incited each one of us to act. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Waitere. Now, I wish to call one of our sponsors, the Chief of Party, Jackie Mbogo, to come and give brief remarks. We are already short on time.
The Deputy Inspector General of Police, the senators present, the women rep for Nairobi, the GEC team led by the chair and the CEO, my colleagues from civil society, our very, very able policemen and women, good morning everyone. I am very, very delighted to be here this morning. Delighted because finally we have something to tell the women, the children, the men of this country why we must stop the violence. I'm here this morning because all of us collectively are very concerned at the levels of gender-based violence in the country. That it should be happening in the first place is something that all of us should bow our heads and really, really repent about. But even more appalling is that when it happens, the victims are not even accorded an opportunity to heal in dignity, an opportunity to bounce back, an opportunity to have justice. So this morning is the milestone we are making as a country that indeed the violence, not only will it stop, but those that are victimized by the violence can have an opportunity to get dignity, to heal, to get justice. So this one-stop center is really about that. It's about making a statement as a nation and as a people that our children, our men, our women cannot continue to suffer and be indignified once again by violence. We are here because this circle of care must be looped, must be made clear, must be made sustainable. And I like what my colleague has just said when he was speaking. He was calling all of us to action. If this good practice is going to be sustained, because it's not just Nairobi people that get violated. It is people in the counties also. It is in the villages. It's grandmothers, it's children. It's everybody that is getting violated. If this has to stop, then we all have to commit, one, to preventing. Two, we have to commit that service must be found at that level. So this model needs to be replicated, not by one person, but all of us coming together and deciding, I am going to leave a mark. History will judge me positively in this country that I have supported something that can keep my grandmother, your mother, your sister, your brother safe in this country. So we are very delighted. Reinvent program works and is supported by UK Aid. So as we stand with you, we are also saying violence will stop and violence will be managed, and this is just the first step. Thank you very much for having us, and we look forward to the partnership. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Jackie Mbogo. I wish now to invite the representative of the Registrar of the High Court, Caroline Kabucho. Please keep it short.
Good morning, everyone. I've been requested to keep it short, and that is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm a representative of the Registrar Magistrates Court, not High Court, Mr. Mulwa. I'm his deputy. We are in charge of the magistrates across the country. Currently, we have 127, and my commitment, and that of my boss today, is that as much as, just as the way we have done with our specialized children court, we have anti-corruption court, and recently we have anti-terrorism court in Kahawa. We are committing that we'll have a Policare court and we'll give you a magistrate. Thank you very much.
Oh, that is great news. I think we deserve a bigger clap. Now I wish to invite the CEO of NGEK, Ms. Betty Nyabuto.
Good morning, everybody. All protocols observed. I wish to recognize the Deputy Inspector General of Police, Edward Buga, our chairperson, and Dr. Joyce Mutinda, our Commissioner, Priscilla Nyokabi. We also have honorable members of Parliament here. We have the senators, and we have all the dignitaries present. I just wish to make it very brief and say that this is a very noble project, and it's really commendable that finally we have a one-stop shop where we can have dignity addressed for victims. And this is something we can come together in ensuring that it's replicated in all counties across the country. So with those very few remarks, I just want to pass it over to yourself and say well done to all of us today.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Now I wish to call the Nairobi Women Rep to say her brief remarks and then invite the Senator of Nairobi and the Senator of Makueni. Welcome.
The Deputy IG, Edward Mbugwa, the main sponsor, Jackie Mbogo, the Magistrates Representative, the Chairperson of GAC, our Chief Guest, the CEO, Betty Nyabuto, the Commissioner, Priscilla Nyokabi, my fellow legislators from the Senate, Johnson Sakaja and Mutula Kilonzo, ladies and gentlemen, members of the police force, the civil society, the partners that we have here, good day, because I have no idea whether it's morning or afternoon. It's still morning, good morning. Wow, I was here a few weeks ago because NGAF, the National Affirmative Action Fund, has some money, not a lot, but we have some money, and we decided to put some money into helping the police improve on their gender-based violence desks. And I was so pleased that Abigail here, with the permission of the Deputy Inspector General, came with the full force of the police, and we toured a number of police stations in Nairobi. And when we toured these police stations, we saw some like Buruburu that have very impressive services. We came here and we saw what you want to achieve here. I love the name Policare. You know, the police is always seen in such bad light. I love the fact that Policare is about the police caring, okay? And the police are human beings, all right? In every gunia, you might have one apple that is rotten, isn't it? Doesn't mean that everybody is rotten in the force. I have seen that without the police, this country would be total anarchy. So there are times that you do good, and there are times that a few of you do bad. But this particular time, coming out and saying we need to have these centers, initiating the centers, bringing us all together, is celebrated by me. You're going to dedicate the space. You're going to dedicate the space. You're going to give us the police force. Hopefully we will train them. I believe that there's some good training on trauma that we can actually sponsor through GAF. So I'm committing to sponsor at least 100 police men and women who are manning these centers to go through the course. And if it proves to be a good course, it could be a course that we could consider sponsoring as GAF. We also need, because you need to know how to handle trauma. It's not just having the center. We need the nurses, we need the magistrate, and I thank you for the representative of the magistrates for actually saying they will give a magistrate here. We have challenges in this country. You know, somebody said to me, you're a legislator, you're there to make laws. We don't have a shortage of laws. We have a shortage of implementation of those laws. We have a shortage of prioritizing some of the laws that need to be implemented with budgets. We've come and seen an empty room. I keep wondering, surely we can go to our partners. I know our resources are stretched, but we cannot ignore sexual gender-based violence. Whatever resources are needed, I will put mine from GAF. Let the police also look for what they can put, and let's make sure that every gender unit that we're going to put out, every Policare unit, is well equipped as quickly as possible. Because if we don't do that, if we don't put resources, and we expect our partners to do that, let me tell you, right now we're living in a time where everybody is feeling the pinch in terms of the budget. Let us not let the victims of violence, our children, our sons, our uncles, our brothers, our sisters, our grandmothers and grandfathers, let us not let them suffer because we've not put resources together to make sure that this Policare unit works. It needs to work. I will do my part. Now, as for Safe Havens, Sakaja, you and I need to team up. And we need to team up, find the land, find the resources, learn from Makweni, and put up a very, very good safe house in Nairobi. We need a safe house run and managed by government. And I think we need to go to labor and social protection. Those billions that they get, what do they do with them? You know, we are actually looking at a home in Kibra where children were sodomized, probably by other children. They will come here. But the question is, have we collapsed all our institutions to the point that we are not able to actually manage our social services? The structures that we adopted and inherited were from the British. The best social services that any country can have is in the UK. We have such good partnerships with the UK government. We have collapsed and allowed individuals, some good and some rogue, to manage what we have mismanaged in terms of population, what we have mismanaged in terms of ability to care for our own children. The child doesn't have to be abused for the government to get involved. We have a Psychology and Counseling Act that was that was passed in 2014. I wrote to the CS and the PS of Health, and I said, this act, this bill that was passed in 2014, right now with heightened mental depression and sexual gender-based violence, why have we not implemented the Psychology and Counselors Act? Why haven't we put a board together? Because it is that implementation that will allow you to get somebody in here that could be able to give the counseling services that we need to the victims of sexual gender-based violence. We have a lot of work to do. Sometimes I am torn between being a mother, being a citizen, being a legislator, and somebody says it is your job. Let me tell you, it is not easy when you go to Parliament to get things done. So I'm choosing to be just a citizen. I'm choosing to be a human being. And I'm choosing to say, let us all do what we can do. Let us not point a finger and say, it is your job. The job of protecting all our citizens belongs not just to the police. It belongs to all of us. We all have to come together. We have to care. And for us to care, we have to unite. And I want GEC, we need to have a meeting. You, me, Sakaja, even Mutula, let us go to Labor and Social Protection. I don't know what they're doing with their money. I'm looking for food for my homes. Devolution, where is the food? I don't know where the food is. So let us now make the executive be accountable to the citizens through the representatives of the citizens. Because we are the representatives, and we are not able to give our people the services that they want. Tell us how we're going to get money to equip every gender-based violence desk that we have in the police station. Not only with the furniture, but with the resources and the expertise and the partnerships that they can be able to do the right thing. With that, I want to say congratulations, DIG. Let this be your legacy. It is starting. Legacy is formed at 18 years, when your child has gotten to an adulthood. This baby here needs to be nurtured while you're in the force and even when you're out of the force. This has to be your baby. I congratulated the CS Matiang'i recently on digitizing the police. That is also another legacy. So Kenya is our country. Much as we hate a lot of things going wrong, we cannot only point fingers. We should unite to make this country a great country. We can make Kenya great. Not the way Trump had in mind, but we can make Kenya great. We can have the Kenyan dream, all right? So with that, it is an honor for me to invite Senator Mutula Kilonzo, who will then invite Senator Johnston Sakaja after he makes his remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, DIG, Mbugua. I believe all of you have been greeted severally, and I didn't see a dispute, and I will not put it to a vote. The chair of NGEC, Madam Mutinda, Vice Chair Priscilla Nyakabi, Women Rep Esther Pasari is my friend. The lady seated at the back is not just a representative of the registrar, she's also my classmate, Karo Kabusho, Betty Nyabuto, who are due, did I forget the sponsor? Jackie Mbogo, yes. First, how did I come to learn about Policare? Somebody saw a video of my presentation in the Senate and they thought it was current. That video is 1.5 years old, when there was a case of teenage pregnancies. And that lady who works in the Senate then found a lady who is doing this Policare. Her name is Zipporah Nderito, that lady there. When she came to my office and made a presentation about Policare, the first impression, what runs through your mind is, was she raped or defiled? But then she qualifies and says she wasn't. So it means that you can actually have a passion for these things even if you are not a victim. You don't need to be a victim. The next person I called was Joyce Mutinda, the chairperson of NGEC, and they've taken it. This between the phone call, the meeting with Zipporah and the phone call with the chair is less than a month that we are here. And let me say this, you don't need a table. Possibly as we were standing or sitting here, and a red carpet, there's a schoolgirl being raped in Kibera, or somebody being defiled or beaten somewhere. If you are to invite those victims here, whether you sit under this tent or under a tree, somebody needs care. And what informs some of the things that I do, there's a book I keep referring to. It's called Becoming More Human, where government becomes human. Steve Hamilton was the advisor of James Cameron, the former Prime Minister of Britain. What DIG you have done and the Chiangek is where government becomes human, where we care, where Policare becomes more than just a policy, but care. Allow me, DIG, to identify 2 people who are invited personally to come from Makueni, because we have been having all sorts of problems, even just last week, where somebody has been defiled and then there's a backdoor way of just compromising the whole thing. I came with the OCS of Water is here. This gentleman has agreed that DIG, if you assist, we can have the next Policare center in Watertown as quickly as possible because we have the land. And then we have a GVB ambassador, Winnie Mukosi also, who has fought very hard with me in this very difficult battle. When these ladies who was in this tent were making a presentation about persons with disability who are defiled, Winnie, you can have a seat. I have a case in Makueni of a schizophrenic girl who was defiled, and the clothes she was wearing are still with the mother even now. And the case is ongoing. So these things are real. And I want to thank DIG because I know you've put in not only your personal resources, but you've put in work in terms of emotions. I went so that I finish, and do you allow us to leave? Because we have a very big national agenda, and Senator Sakaja is my chair for trying to get a formula for Kenya for dividing resources, and we are here. So it means the meeting has stalled until he leaves, and he can't leave me here. So we'll leave. But I just want to demonstrate that we have an obligation and we have a duty, and that obligation is to ensure that our schoolgirls who are home because of COVID do not become mothers of children, children becoming children. I went to a court case in Makindu, and a young girl in school uniform approaches me. She's carrying a baby. She has come for judgment of her case with the evidence of the defilement. It has taken that long to prosecute that case to the extent that the child is walking. And I then discovered that we have 3,500 cases pending in just Makindu. I spoke to Karo Kabusho, who sent through the registrar 3 magistrates to expedite. It's not enough, in fact, to jail all these people, because as we jail all these persons who are sodomizing and doing funny things to our children, we are losing a population. Would I be a senator of Makueni and a good lawyer if somebody sodomized me? I'm just wondering. Would I have a bright sister called Kathy if she delivered when she was in class 8? Pose that question so that every time you think about the girl who is defiled, that is your sister, a mother who has been defiled or beaten, that is your mother. That's how we are going to change the narrative and stop calling them relatives. We start calling them our mothers, we start calling them our sisters and our brothers. That's how to look at it, and that's where I am. Thank you. Can I invite the only super senator, only person who's called super senator in the Senate, Senator Johnston Arthur Sakaja.
Thank you.
Karibu.
Asante. Thank you. Let's clap for Mutule again. I think in his introduction, he was very extensive. So DIG allowed me to associate myself with the protocol already established. of all of those who are here. This is indeed a monumental day. The last time I was in a police station, it was under different circumstances. And so when I got this invite, I said I must come with my lawyer, Mutula Kilonzo Jr., who is also my brother. And I was whispering to the DIG, because he's my friend, we've worked together for quite some time, that, you know, I, for one, my father was in the disciplined forces, my mother was in the disciplined forces, I have been recently disciplined by the disciplined forces, and I acknowledge the work, the task that you have. We've partnered. I was the vice chairman of the security committee in the Senate, and there's a lot in terms of police reform and support for officers. So I want to tell you that I acknowledge the work you do. We are partners, we are friends. I'm told the new regional commander for Nairobi is here. Karibu sana Nairobi. Nairobi tunapenda amani. And I look forward to a close working relationship with you and your entire team. In fact, the lady who arrested me is here as well. And she's my good friend. And she's my good friend. You know, and today's function, really, DIG, is really part of what we're calling police reform. Police reform is a continuous process. In fact, when Esther Passaris, my good friend, said she loves the word Policare, that really should be what policing is about. It's about the police caring. In many parts of the world, when a child is lost or when somebody needs directions, the first person you go to is a police officer. That has not been the case for a long time in our country. But I acknowledge that we've walked a long journey, and that is where we're going to. Where when you see an officer, you don't run away from them, you run towards them, because they're offering you service. And I'm glad that it is utumishi kwa wote. It is no longer a force, it is a police service. DIG, I acknowledge your personal contribution to this project. And even you just coming here sends a very strong signal to the entire force that this is supported right from the top of the police service. I know even the IG would have wanted to be here, possibly, but the goodwill that you have demonstrated, including using your own personal resources for this, is commendable, and it is noted. Zipporah, well done. Your passion for this, how you describe it, and she's even studying it, these issues should not go unnoticed. I think the discussions we're having today are so important at this time in our country, when we're realizing that we must pull together, and we're realizing that we have one Kenya. I'm glad today we have the judiciary, represented by the registrar, we have the legislature, represented by myself, Esther, and Mutula, and we have the executive, represented by the DIG, and also by Ngek. Because until we realize as a country that we all are serving the same people, until we realize that as Senator, Regional Commander, my people are your people, it's the same people that we're serving. Thank you, sir. It's the same people that we're serving. If we team up, it creates an unbreakable code that this country needs at this time. I'm so happy that in this Policare, it is one stop. You walk in, the information is captured digitally. You don't have to go through 20 other officers and 20 other offices. That restores dignity. And dignity for me is the most important aspect. The dignity of the victim and the integrity of the evidence. The dignity of the victim, the integrity of the evidence is secured. So in as much as I support the idea of this being replicated across the country, which we must, I think, Esther, we have a task. We have 17 constituencies, and we have a number of police divisions. Every police division in Nairobi will have a Policare unit. It is possible. With our 17 MPs, because through CDF, they've also been doing a lot, you know, with the police posts. If you go to Umoja and see what Theory has done, if you see what Gakuya has done in Mbakasi North, what has happened in Kasarani, that partnership has actually yielded results. And we want to tell them in this next financial year, let us try and focus some resources in establishing Policare in all police divisions in Nairobi. But having said that, DIG and the Ministry of Interior, in this budget framework for this financial year. Because in as much as we acknowledge the personal efforts, this must be official work of the police force, the police service. In this budget, let us see a budgetary line of police care, and this Policare, I assure you, it will pass in the National Assembly. But the budget request, the budget requisition in your budget line must come from yourselves. Just put it. It doesn't have to be, you know, super complicated. We don't need billions. If you see so far, it is just the technology, and I'm glad for that, presentation that we got. It is a human resource, many of whom are already in the force, training them, and a few, equipment. If it is testing, if it is the samples, we have the government chemist. You just need the vials. It is not rocket science. Let's cost it, and I pledge myself, I pledge to support and lead this cause in Parliament. Senator, or rather Honorable Nyokabi will tell you, even in the last Parliament we were together, and I was the only male member of the women parliamentarians of KEOPA. I was a male member of KEOPA because I felt gender issues are not women issues. These problems in society are not issues for women alone. And that is why we must always push for what we call he for she. He for she campaign. Even when you're training your officers, don't just target the female officers, because many times the victims will encounter the male officers. Let us train everybody, but let us go back to society. There is something terribly wrong with our society today. The part we're doing now is making sure that the perpetrators does not get away with it. They don't get away with it. But still, as leaders, we must address the rot in society that makes somebody think that it is okay, because they know they will get away with it, to defile a child, to rape a woman. We must deal with that rot in our society. So we want to be advocates for it. We want to bring male members. In fact, if we have a forum, I'll bring the 17 members from Nairobi. If you take them through this, then they'll understand why they need to make sure they have set aside the money. We must build that, sensitization of this issue. We must sensitize our members of Parliament and of Senate. So I am in full support. I thank you. Senator, I keep calling you Senator. I think you should vie for Senate. Honorable Nyokabi, you know, sometimes it might be a prophetic word. You remember when we passed the PADV Act, Protection Against Domestic Violence. Even that time, you remember we were very few members in the House. I think around less than 10. Honda Bombadi and myself led the onslaught against retrogressive amendments being brought by the committee then, Honda Bochepkonga. It does not have to be female legislators who push this cause. Male legislators should also be able to push this cause. So let us implement it. Safe houses are already provided for. Esther Pasaris, you're right. The law, the PADV Act, talks about safe houses. We don't need a new law. We just need to create the environment and the framework to implement that which you already have. So in conclusion, because Senator Mutula has alluded to the task we have, I know you've been following. I want to assure you we will have this light at the end of the tunnel. We will agree. But even in that discussion on revenue, the theme is the same as here. That the strength of a country, the greatness of our people, is not defined by the grand things you do. It is the thought, the concern for the least in society, that no one is left behind. If you go to Mukuru today and you see Wangu Kanja's foundation, what she's doing in Mukuru, with the young girls being defined without support. If you go to Kibra, if you go to Mathare and see what ordinary Kenyans, without any support from government, are doing, then you realize that our cause is the same. That no person should see themselves as too small to get attention. And it's the same thing we're saying, no county in this country should feel that they're being done for a favor and that they'll be left behind. We will not develop one part of Kenya and leave another part behind. We must all move together as a country. Mungu awabariki. Now at least nimetoa ile nini ya kwenda kwa station. I will now visit more stations without Mutula this time. Nata mkirona bila yeye tuendelee kufanya kazi pamoja. DIG, be assured of our unreserved support in this cause. Asante sana.
Thank you very much, our legislators. Thank you for the promises you have given to us, and thank you for gracing this occasion. I had forgotten, I have just been told there is Honorable Priscilla Nyokabi, a commissioner in GEC. And also we have the Chief Magistrate Kibra, Mr. Lorot, who is the chair, Court Users Committee Special Working Group. So I wish to call now, and before I call the next speaker, I wish to inform all of us that we have refreshments. I think we are only remaining with a very short time so that we can have refreshments. Okay, at this juncture, I wish to call the chairperson, Ngek. Let me consult. I wish now to welcome the Deputy Inspector General to say his remarks so that we can also listen to the chairperson, Ngek.
Thank you, Judy. The Honorable Senator Johnson Sakanja of Nairobi County, Honorable Senator Mutura Kilonzo Jr. of Makueni County, the Nairobi County Women Representative, Honorable Esther Pasaris, the Chairperson of GEC, Dr. Joyce Mutinda, the GEC CEO, Bete Nyabuto, the representative of the Registrar of Magistrates Court, Madam Caroline Kafucho, the event chief of the party, Jackie Bogo, Honorable Piusira Nyokabi, Commissioner of GEC, and the Chief Magistrate Kebela, my officers, good morning. Morning once again. I wish to thank all our guests for honoring our invitation. I understand that Honorable Senator Sakanja and Honorable Senator Mutura Kilonzo Jr. are leaving for Parliament, and I wish to allow them now that they can leave at their own time. But much appreciated, and we are looking forward for your continued assistance. Thank you. I don't want to repeat maybe what have been said. You have been taken through what Policare is all about, but we decided that it is for this issue alone. We must involve all other stakeholders, and that is why we have invited many people so that we can work as a multi-agency. There is no way we are going to succeed if the police is going to work alone. We need magistrates, we need prosecutors from DPP, we need health workers, and many other stakeholders. That is why we decided that it must be a multi-agency, we must have a multi-agency approach, and that is what we are doing. I want to introduce the new sheriff in town, Mr. Rashid Yakub Abdullahi. He's a new commander here, he just arrived last week. The other thing I would like to say, and require you to do it as soon as possible. We have some offices which are here, which are not being utilized in the right manner. Recover them and hand over to Policare so that they can have adequate areas. Because there is no need for us to be taking suspects from here to Milimani Court, whereas we can be given a magistrate and the magistrate occupy one of the offices. Also the doctor to sign the P3s, they must be here. So get as many offices as possible which are not in use, and let us get them this week. Otherwise, I appreciate each one of you, even the people from Makueni, UCS Makueni, you have seen what we are doing. You can also replicate the same there. And all other stakeholders, please support us so that Policare can become a reality. Finally, I wish to invite the chairman of GEC, Dr. Mutinda, to come and give his speech. You are our special guest today. Welcome, madam.
Good morning, everyone. I know today I'm feeling like there is a rebirth of our police. I'm looking at you in uniform. I'm looking at your boss, and I'm looking at all of you with a very different light, not the one where we run away from the police. I know we have had run-ins, particularly when I wake up one day, Bwana Mbugua, I wake up one day and write a letter and say, I do not want to be sent a male police officer to come and be in my office. And then somebody says, why? Then I say, these are the male officers I have, and therefore I need to balance. And somebody says, no, you are being very difficult. I'm not difficult. We need gender equality yesterday, not today. I also have come across, allow me to say this, across officers, when I tell them I have so many Gikuyus, I have so many Wakambas, I have so many Luos, and therefore get me somebody who is not in this listing, they wonder what is happening. What is happening is that in the National Gender and Equality Commission, we attack two enemies. One, gender equality, and the other one, now when I say equality, I mean the opposite. Inequality is what we go against, and then discrimination. I know my officers will not be happy if I don't read the official speech that they wrote. Bwana Edward Bugwa, the Deputy Inspector General of Kenya Police Service, and I want to underline the word service as opposed to police force, because now we are seeing the service. Honorable Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr. for Makueni County. We also have Senator Jackson Adha Sakaja. I usually call him E for she, the senator for Nairobi, and I'm very happy with that. Our own Mama County, Honorable Esther Fasaris, Nairobi County Women Representative. My own commissioner, Honorable Priscilla Nyokavi. She's just the only lady commissioner at the moment, because we have only 5 commissioners. And I want to bring you greetings from my vice chair. My vice chair is Dr. Chomba. He's visually impaired. And the World Health Organization has said during the time of COVID, our PWDs should stay at home. And he has obeyed and stayed at home. But he's very happy with what is happening today, I can confess. Betty Sungura Nyabuto, my own CS, and CEO, she doesn't like being called NGEC. It is National Gender and Equality Commission, because we were told NGEC is not the proper short form. So it's National Gender and Equality Commission. Why I say not proper short form is because one of the areas in this country, when it is pronounced, it goes towards some negative aspect which we don't want to have. Ms. Jack Bogo, Chief of Party Reinvent, I know we have worked together in many other places, and I'm happy you are working with police. Judy Lamet, Assistant Inspector General of Police, even in absentia, I want to recognize this noble lady for what she has been doing. We have very many government officers, both from the national government and the county. I want to recognize your presence. We have private sector and non-state actors. And again, we have members of the fourth estate. I still believe it is morning. Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to join the Kenya Police Service as they demonstrate the operationalization of Police Care Center, or Policare, from a mere concept to a model program. I have listened carefully about the description of Policare as it was given by one Wadhome, I think is Wadhome Okidhome. I listened very carefully, and this was the second time I was listening about Policare. And it is clear to me that it is a multi-sectoral, innovative, one-stop solution for responding and managing instances of sexual and gender-based violence. Now, you realize we are talking of response, meaning there is something that we are leaving behind. In matters SGBV, we have prevention, that should be the first point of call, and then we have the response. Now, when it comes to matters, just allow me to digress on that. When it comes to matters of preventing, and that is where we are weak, and I want to call on each of us to think also of preventing. That is where we come up with policies. And the policies we have in this country are very noble. The policies exist. We go ahead and get legislation. The legislators have told you, legislation is there. It is not something that does not exist. But I dare say, when it comes to matters SGBV, the legislation at the national level and the model that NGC has done for the counties has not gone to all the counties. Some counties are yet to have their own legislation to deal with matters SGBV, and we would want them to go ahead and deal with it. The other area is administrative practices, where we have the standards and the guidelines. That is how we prevent. But there is a big area that is public education. Now, this public education must start at the family level, move to the village, community, and the society at large. I want to challenge community policing to be part of us as we start educating all of us to know that there is no need of violating your grandchild. And when I say your grandchild, you may think I'm picking it from very far. Right now we have a case in Machakos where a grandfather took a grandchild. And after finishing, as though that was not enough trauma, the son went ahead. This is somebody who the kid calls uncle. Uncle went ahead and repeated. Now, it becomes very complicated. So we need to educate our people right from the beginning. The response side, again, we have started very well. We talk of the arrests and prosecution. The arrests have gone on. Prosecution has gone on, but it takes forever. And I think you heard what Senator Mutula said, what has happened in Makueni. It is not only Makueni. I have a report from Homa Bay where it takes ages for the case to be concluded. Until the kid is walking or the kid may be going to school, we are exposing our children to a lot of trauma. But I must say this matter, when it comes to judiciary and we have representation, something is going to be done. We have just heard there is going to be a magistrate, and if we can have those magistrates in every other place where we have the Policare centers, then we'll be moving forward. The other area is medical care and psychological support. They call it psychosocial support. Now, for this particular Policare center, it's just next to Kenyatta National Hospital, it's next to the government chemist. So we hope it will run very well. So what does this mean? If we don't have resources, please let us place the Policare centers near hospitals. It will help. Because once somebody exists from here, where do they go? They need treatment. Other than psychosocial support, they may require some treatment in a hospital. And we hope our Kenyatta National Hospital and other hospitals that are coming up in Nairobi and elsewhere will be useful. Then there is the issue of legal aid. Today, I don't think other than my own commissioner and Mutula Jr., I don't think we have other lawyers, and my CS is also another lawyer. We need these lawyers. And I want to pledge here and now that I have 7 advocates of the High Court sitting in NGEC, dealing with public litigation, and we can always donate 1 as and when required by Policare, so that they take up that case, such cases. We don't want the cases continuing. We are also ready to have a dialogue with the feeder and with any other group of advocates that can help with legal aid. There is an issue of shelters. Somebody has exited from here, they have gone, they have been treated. Where do they go home to? They have no home at the beginning. They may require a shelter. So we need to look into ways of having these shelters. Honorable Pasaris has said they will come up with shelters. Madam, that is very good. We hope these shelters, government shelters, not just by other actors, government shelters will be in every other county, so that at least we have a place in between home and hospital where these victims can be dealt with. Then getting back to the society. Who does what to ensure that, for example, the girl I've talked about in Machakos gets back to the very family. It will take a while. So we need to think of structures that do that kind of thing. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to commend the Kenya Police Service for conceiving the idea and moving it expeditiously into implementation. Kenya has a progressive constitution and has made major strides in developing legislative and policy frameworks on the response, prevention, and management of sexual and gender-based violence. At the international and regional level, there exists a myriad of instruments that protect women and girls against SGBV. Kenya is a signatory to most of these commitments. And I want to remind you that we at the National Gender and Equality Commission are the principal organ that makes sure that all these commitments that our country has made relating to women, relating to children, relating to PWDs, other members of society, and minority and marginalized, we are expected to make sure that reporting goes on and we comply. So when it comes to compliance for the regional and also international instruments, we will be there. Ladies and gentlemen, the National Gender and Equality Commission, because I know some of us don't know, is a constitutional commission established by the Gender and Equality Commission Act number 15 of 2011. This is pursuant to Article 59, Subarticle 4 and Subarticle 5 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. The Commission's mandate is to promote gender equality and freedom from discrimination for all people in Kenya, not just Kenyans. So anyone who is in this country, if you violate them, we shall come. Not because they are Kenyans, but they are people in this country. We focus on women, children, youth, persons with disabilities, other members of society, minority and marginalized groups. Now, pursuant to our functions provided in Section 8 of the National Gender and Equality Commission Act number 15 of 2011, I wish to state the following, and I'll just do this very slowly. 1, the Commission will coordinate state and non-state actors to provide the necessary support required to fully operationalize Policare. We shall coordinate. We are among the few bodies that have coordinating mandate. If you remember very well, we are the only commission that coordinates state and non-state actors. So it's not just government, even out there. Why? Because being a constitutional commission, we do not answer to any ministry. We answer to Wanjiku. And therefore, whoever is helping Wanjiku becomes our partner. The commission will share with Policare project, the data gathered through our revamped sexual and gender-based violence information system to inform programming. We already have a system in place. When I joined the commission, and this is exactly 2 years ago, I found this system running, but it did not have some modules. We have been very lucky to get a partner in somebody called Equality Now, and they have helped us revamp this system. So we are saying this system, whatever information we have, we'll be sharing with Policare for their use. I'm happy to note that the police service is one of our partners who feed data in this system. So the data you get from the Policares will come to our modules. Why are we doing this? We have another mandate that tells us we need to collect data on our special interest groups to help programming, to help us facilitate, and also not only facilitate, but advise the government on what should be done on those groups. We recently enrolled in that module the Female Genital Mutilation Board, so that we have other people coming on board. These partners have also begun structured discussions about sexual and gender-based violence data demand, and the use, a component that will be useful to Policare. So what I'm telling our officers is, when you don't get it, and I'm sure you'll get it, my CEO is here. Betty, please be upstanding. Now, when you are not served, just go to Betty and tell her, the chair said you will give us this, and she will surely do. Remembering she is an advocate of the High Court and a mother, and therefore she subscribes to this. 3, the other thing that NGC will do, in exercise of our quasi-judicial powers, the Commission shall investigate on our own initiative or on the basis of complaints from Policare. So sometimes you'll find my officers coming around. They will see what is happening. This is not a threat. Sometimes they will find police officers on slow, with all due respect to our new regional commander. When they are slow, I'll be quick to call my sister, Anne, from the other department. You know what she does. She looks into what we don't do. I will also be quick to call my other sister from CAJ to check whether it is administrative justice that is not being served. So we are ready to work with Policare, even including the investigations. Under the guidance of the Legal Aid Act of 2016, we are happy to offer legal aid. This is a repeat, I'm repeating. Because we pursue public interest litigation on matters SGBV, and we shall interest other parties to come with us. The other thing we shall do, the Commission shall continue to work with the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights and the Commission on Administrative Justice to strengthen referral system on matters gender inequality and discrimination, including SGBV. What does that mean? Should we come into a matter and find this is administrative justice not served, we shall refer that matter to CAJ. Should we find this is a matter that has to go to Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, we would send it there. Because it does not come to inequality, it has not come to discrimination, but a violation of the rights of the individual. The Commission, through the County Equality and Inclusion Technical Working Groups, will facilitate counties to appreciate the Policare concept. What does that mean? My field officers, and they are at the moment in five counties, but they cover the regions. We have an office in Nakuru. We have another office in Malindi. The Malindi one is for Kilifi. We have another one in Garissa. And we have another one that is at the moment working very difficult in Kitui. Then we have another one in Kisumu. So we are, I would say we are all over covering the areas, although we are not in every county. Our equality and inclusion technical working groups, however, are in more counties than our 5 offices. We already have, I think it's now 20, is it 26? 29, where we have equality and inclusion technical working groups. What do? They bring state and non-state actors together to discuss matters that affect our SIGs. And since what you are doing in Policare is affecting 2, in fact 3 of our SIGs, and I know the list is growing because I've come across elderly women and elderly men who have been violated. We used to think it's only the children because of the pregnancies. But now we have realized this is a bad pandemic. Allow me to call it a pandemic, although I do not have the powers to declare. But it is a pandemic, for example, within the pandemic at the moment. So we need to think now. We have seen our daughters, our granddaughters pregnant. It's not like they got this out of taking tea. They got this from their brothers, from their fathers, from their grandfathers, from uncle, and they know who did it. So how do we deal with this vice, which is all over? Let's attack through the policing, through Nyumba Kumi. Let us attack the family, let us attack the village, so that at the end of it, we do not have to do any response, because we have prevented this. It is something that is doable. I watched in Disney when we were told now there is coronavirus. It is attacking all over. It is airborne. I look around. Each one of us has covered their mouth. I look around. Our musicians are now singing, please don't do this so that you don't get corona. Even if you go to little children, you go to the church, they are preaching. Why can't we preach about SGBV? Time has come for us, all of us, to preach about SGBV. As I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to urge the senators and the county women representatives I call them Mama and the Baba County, to champion Policare model and advocate for government funding to establish Policare centers in all the 47 counties. It is my prayer that in 90 days from today, that is 3 months, Policare will find a home in another county. And I'm saying that when we know in those 90 days, I really do want this one operational. How is it going to be operational? You have heard the commitments. Mama County has big ideas about it. The he for she, Honorable Sakaja, has big ideas about it. Let us follow them and get this working. Of course, I hope, Bwana Mbugua, you are not going to tell them to buy the locks. Tell the Inspector General of Police, you need the locks and the doors for all these places. You need the painting. You should be able to do that from some place, somewhere. I've also watched that you have worked with Reinvent. Reinvent, as much as it was said, you just deal with the documents, I think it may be very useful to also deal with other matters. Let's not have this baby not working. We want to have this baby working next year. As I urge the senators who are present here to move very fast and support establishment of Policare centers at the county level, I once again wish to thank the Kenya Police Service for remarkable achievement of establishing Policare in Nairobi. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Daktari. Now, the next item in our program is the vote of thanks. And then we'll take a group photo and then have a cup of tea. And everybody will leave at their own pleasure. I now welcome Honorable Priscilla Nyokabi to give a vote of thanks. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much. As I'm going to give the vote of thanks, the protocol will be in the vote of thanks, but our DIG and our chairperson and all present and our Mama County, thank you very, very much for this day. It is indeed a day to be grateful and a day to be thankful for. Unlike Senator Sakaja, I have not had occasion to come to a police station in those circumstances. Every circumstance I have come to a police station has been a positive one, and I'm really, really happy that on this particular day, we are taking our police service to even higher levels and higher skills. The rest of Africa will come to Kenya to look at this model. The rest of Africa, not the rest of Kenya, the rest of Africa will come to Kenya to look at this model. This is indeed cutting edge. This is indeed a big beginning for Africa, that our police are in the forefront of fighting gender-based violence. For all those who've been in the movement for a long time, this is like a dream come true. So even as we are happy that the baby will grow, we are already quite celebratory that this has come to be in our country, in this day, in Nairobi, and with so many police officers present. On the vote of thanks, our DIG, very, very grateful for this day, for your leadership and support, including a lot of personal support. It really indeed takes leadership to get to the place that we have gotten into. We are going to give our DIG a umeme, ile makofi ya umeme. 1, 2, 3, umeme. Asante DIG, sana, 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 sana. Thank you so much. We are truly, truly grateful for this day. And we ask you to continue championing this project and continue championing this process until we have all the Policare centers established. We want to thank the sponsors. Jackie Mbogo, thank you very, very much for the sponsorship that you have given, especially for the working group on the SOPs. Really, really grateful. And looking forward to even more support, that this is just the germination of the seed. Looking forward to more support. Thank you very, very much. Umeme kwa Jackie Mbogo. Asante sana. Trust Opticians have also supported today's event. So very, very grateful to Trust Opticians, and calling on many other people to join on board in terms of sponsoring this program that we have gotten onto. Trust Opticians, are they here? We also want to thank them very much for the support they've given. There is Trust Opticians, umeme kwa Trust Opticians. Asante sana, sana, sana. For the professionals and experts and exhibitors of today, very, very grateful for a lot of what we have seen. A lot of professional expertise has been given on child psychology, on trauma, on many other perspectives that we need to have. And even the body that brings together the criminal criminologists. You see, I said we are cutting edge in Africa. We are even going to new areas of study. Criminologists, thank you very, very much. There is also Dr. Sielela from KU who has been part of the groups supporting and offering expertise. Thank you very, very much to all our experts. Experts tuwapatie ile ya mosquito. Unajua ya mosquito? Haya mosquito tafuta zzz. For all our experts, zzz, angusha. Asante sana. I should have said ua. For the police and the Community Policing Directorate, Judy and your team, thank you very much. For the Policare Technical Working Group, Zipporah and Chairman Wathome, all of you in that group, and the rest of the police for the support, for the work, for the effort, thank you very, very much. Hawa sasa ndio tutatafutia mosquito vizuri. Haya, tafuta mosquito for the Technical Working Group. Tafuta, shika. Hapana, kushika sio kuua, kushika. Haya, tafuta mosquito, shika. Ua. Thank you. Thank you for the Technical Working Group for the work. For our NGEC, the chairperson, for your leadership. I mean, it's just been a month since this matter was brought to our attention. Thank you very, very much. The chairperson, the CEO, and staff of NGEC, many of who are here, asanteni sana NGEC, and the chairperson, and everyone at NGEC, and we look to even better and more support for this program going forward. Watu wa NGEC, pia tuwatafutie mosquito yao. Tafuta mosquito, shika. Ua. Thank you. Sasa hii watu wameshika. It's like hakuna kuua kabla ya kushika. The legislators and our leaders, our senators, is true, both Sakaja and Senator Mutula Kilonzo are really, really good supporters of the gender work, and we thank them for being here and for offering to champion. And DIG, we in NGEC will also support you with the budget lines in terms of how to draft, how to push that before the parliamentary processes. And once we have the leadership that they have committed, we should also get more resources from the government of Kenya, even as we look for resources from many other partners. So for our senators, we thank them. Honorable Pasaris, we will send you to pass our regards and our thank you to the senators, even as we give you, Esther Pasaris, a big round of applause for the work that you support. Let's support our Mama County with a round of applause. Thank you, thank you. Mama County, it is indeed true, the National Government Affirmative Action Funds can support this and can support all of the 17 constituencies. So thank you very much as you champion that part of the work. And you are a big fighter in Parliament, so sending you also to fight for this program in Parliament. We thank our leaders very, very much and look forward to even better support from them. The judiciary, represented here by Honorable Lorot's effort, and hoping to see the cases come to a conclusion as early as possible. So, Lorot and the registrar, our request is one, that you gazette this as a court. You gazette this as a court so that we are able to move the processes faster. Once it is a gazetted court area, then the rest of the mechanisms that go with the court process then follow, and that will help us to fast track the cases. But very grateful for the support of the courts. For all those present here, we may not have mentioned you in any of the other categories. Again, thank you very, very much for everyone who's here. We will be the witnesses to the birth of the Policare, and we will need to keep the testimony. We need to share that indeed the police service is a service and is doing its best in terms of showing that the police care. So for all of us present, tujipatie makofi moja. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. From ourselves at NGEC, and even from myself as a commissioner, is really to assure you of our sort of 100% support. We are going to give this the best effort that we can. And coming from Nyeri, I also want to invite, after the Nairobi 17 constituencies, after the Makueni, that you also kindly consider Nyeri County, where at the Nyeri Central Police Station, mtu utatea kwao. And kwanza Nyeri tumeaibishwa sana that we beat men. So now, please help us there, so that even men are part of the processes of gender equality, and so that even there we have a center. And I wanted to propose, because the Nyeri Central Police Station has space. When I was the women rep, we actually had put in, we had tried the gender-based violence desk, but which quite didn't go as far as we had hoped. So I'm inviting that the Policare team, the technical working group, kindly also make Nyeri one of the pilot places so that these efforts can go on. And the reason I'm also inviting you to Nyeri is the intellectual disability. And I was happy to see in the exhibitions that some of the children who suffer most from violence and gender-based violence are actually the children with intellectual disability. And it is very, very sad. In our county, it's been very, very sad to see a girl who cannot even stand up has been raped. In fact, people even used to wonder, surely, even this rapist, the girl has been on the ground because he's disabled on the legs and has been defiled. It has been really, really sad. There was a girl also who was mentally disabled and used to get raped all the time. There was a teacher who was teaching in the special class in one of our schools in Nyeri County and made the head teacher put the class at the corner of the school. Akasema ati hao watoto wanapiganga makelele. Of course, nobody knew what he was going to do. You will not believe it. He put the class at that corner of the school so that he could defile the children. So it's really, really bad. And we have to deal with these people. And especially because these men who rape our children, the pedophiles, are actually repeat offenders. And many of the time, they themselves have mental problems. So please, please help us to remove them from the society so that they stop defiling. And there is no reason of transferring a teacher who is defiling in Wajir, you transfer them to Nyeri or to any other county. There is no reason to transfer a defiler. Once somebody is a defiler, sheria ifanye kazi. So tuna hope kutoka kesho that we are looking at a Kenya where GBV is fought and where we are going to have a free country where men and women are equal, where everybody is safe, and when the police are arresting, wana arrest tu walevi. Maana sasa pedophiles watakuwa wamemaliza kuarrest na watakuwa wamedeal nao kabisa using the Policare Center. We thank God and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Nyokabi. Now I wish to call the Nairobi Area Police Chaplain to give us a word of prayer, and then the national anthem. May all of us be upstanding.
Let us pray. Our dear Heavenly Father, we come before you this afternoon with thanksgiving from our hearts. We know that it has taken your mighty hand for us to be the way we are. We remember that one day our people sat down and thought of the Policare, an act that we have seen that it have come really to the work to be done. We pray that, dear Lord, you continue showering your blessings unto your people, and especially our DIG, dear Lord, not forgetting even our host here within this region, our regional police commander. Every person who is here, dear Lord, we know that it is because of your will. It is because of your grace and your favor upon them, dear Lord. We commit each and every person who is here, remembering that this work which is being undertaken here, it will serve the community, it will serve the police officers, even themselves, because we know that there are many times when they are battered, but they just keep quiet without even having somebody to take care of them. Lord, we pray that there is reality. We may continue helping one another. But even above all, let us help and also encourage, support our DIG, and also those who are under him, because we know that many are the days that they don't even sleep because of this Policare. We commit them unto your hearts. And even by the time you'll be leaving here, not forgetting even CAC TV. Dear Lord, we thank you because of the church. Thank you because of the NGOs. Thank you because of every person who is here, regardless of our status in life, regardless of our background. And we know that at the end of the day, really, we will see this project coming into reality when we will study and say, glory be to God, because of all that you have done. It is only you we are trusting in and depending on, even a moment like this one. Dear Lord, as we disperse, as we move from here, we pray for your support. We pray for your guidance. We pray that, dear Lord, even as we encourage one another, not forgetting the crisis that is within us, the struggles, the trials and temptations, and more so, the coronavirus. Dear Lord, we need to understand that even we as police officers, we are not prone to that. But we need to take care of one another, even as you are advised day and night by a regional police commander. Dear Lord, help us as we encourage one another. May the peace of God that surpasses all human understanding keep your minds and hearts in the knowledge of God and of His Son, Jesus Christ. And may the blessings of God, the Father, Son, and of the Holy Spirit be with you, remain with you, and walk with you wherever you be, now and forevermore. Amen.
hotuba ambazo zimetoka kwa viongozi mbalimbali akiwemo seneta wa kaunti ya Nairobi Johnson Sakaja, ambaye ameelezea mipango na mikakati ambayo wanapania kuyaweka ili kuhakikisha ya kwamba dhulma za kijinsia zinaangamia kabisa katika jamii. Pia tumeweza kusikia mwakilishi wa kina mama Esther Passaris, aliyekuwa mwakilishi wa kina mama Priscilla Nyokabi, ambaye kwa sasa ni mmoja wa makamishna katika National Gender and Equality Commission. Naibu wa Deputy Inspector General of Police Edward Mbugua pia ameweza kuhutubia na ameelezea kwa kina haswa kichocheo ambacho kiliweza kuwaelekeza kuweza kuja kutengeneza Policare, pamoja na viongozi wengine akiwemo Mutula Kilonzo Jr. na kila mshikadau ambaye ameelezea kwamba hatua hii huenda ikasaidia jamii pakubwa. Na kuwakumbusheni tu ni kwamba leo haijakuwa ni siku ya uzinduzi, bali ni mojawapo ya hatua ambazo zinaonyesha yale ambayo yanazidi kutayarishwa. Na katika sehemu hii ya Old Nairobi area ndiyo piloting ambayo itakuwa ikishughulikia masuala yote yanayotoka katika kaunti ya Nairobi. Na juma lijalo hafla hii itakuwa katika kaunti ya Makueni. Kuna baadhi ya washirika kama vile Reinvent, tumekuwa na Professional Criminologists Association of Kenya, Thriving Families pamoja na Women in Safety and Excellence WISE, na pia tunao Arthur's Dream Autism Trust. Na kwa kifupi tu tungependa kusikia baadhi ya maoni ya hawa washirika ambao wameweza kufanikisha hafla hii ya leo, na pia mikakati ambayo wanaendelea nayo kuona ya kwamba Policare ambao wameweza kumwita kama mtoto mdogo, anakuwa na pia kuacha ile kumbukumbu au legacy kama jinsi wanasiasa hupenda kusema. Namwona dadangu hapa anataka kusema jambo. Dada, karibu, tuambie majina yako na pengine shirika unalofanya nalo kazi na ni nini, maono gani unayo kuhusiana na Policare?
Kwa majina naitwa Jackie Mathaga. Nafanya na shirika la Arthur's Dream Autism Trust ama EDAT Foundation. EDAT Foundation tunashughulika na mambo kuhusu wale dada zetu na ndugu zetu, watoto wetu ambao ni walemavu. Na tunahusika na Policare kwa sababu kwa muda mrefu sana wale watu ambao either ndio kwa Kiingereza tunasema perpetrator, ule ambao amefanya kosa, ama victim, ule ambao kosa limefanyikiwa kwake, wamekuwa hawawezi kufika mwisho wa justice system kwa sababu ya ulemavu. Saa zingine tunapoteza muda mrefu. Kwa mfano kwa wakati huu wa COVID-19 kuna sana sana wamama wakitoka kwa nyumba, unaona mama ametoka kwenda kutafuta kazi, alafu amemwacha mtoto mlemavu nyumbani, jirani anarudi nyuma anamwadhiri yule mtoto. Sasa hiyo process ya justice inakuwa ni ndefu sana kupata. Lakini with Policare tuna uhakika kuwa all our persons with disabilities, all our children ama adults with disabilities, all our parents of children with disabilities wakija watahudumiwa vizuri, kwa sababu in the same center kuna collection of evidence, in the same center kuna psychosocial care, in the same center kuna hata koti. So the process itamalizika hapo hapo. Kwa wakati huu tuna cases mingi sana ulimwengu nchi mzima ya children with disabilities who have been wameenda through SGBV, lakini their cases are still pending kwa court system yetu, kwa sababu hata collection ya evidence wakati ule haikufanyika vizuri, au mzazi mwenyewe ule ambaye anashtaki hana hela za kukaa akienda kotini back and forth mpaka kesi yake iishe. Kwa hivyo tunaona hii project ya Policare ambayo we are partnering with itatusaidia sana sisi kama community ya watu ambao wana watoto ambao wanalea watoto ambao wana ulemavu wa aina yoyote.
Shukran sana. Wacha pia tusikie wengine. Shukran, na tunaamini ya kwamba litatimia kama jinsi unavyokuwa na yale maoni. Tunaye hapa mwenzetu Daktari Arimi Kirimi kutoka Professional Criminologists Association of Kenya, na kwa kifupi tu utatuelezea kichocheo au ni nini kiliweza kuwapa ile motivation ya kuweza kujiunga na washirika wengine pamoja na huduma ya polisi nchini kuona kwamba Policare inaweza kumakinika au kuweza kufika kiwango hiki cha leo.
Thank you. We realize that allow me to use English. We realize that Policare and a very good idea in eliminating SGBV. This is sexual and gender-based violence. And as a professional body of criminologists, we are fighting crime through promotion of professionalism in criminologists, and again through advocacy, whereby we are giving skills or demystifying what is expected of us so that we do not become victims of crime or even criminals. So when we led all the concept about Policare, we came in full as stakeholders of PISAC. And therefore, this is what led us to be the first online to support the Policare initiative. Yes.
Na mtakoma hapa ama bado mnaendelea kuwa na huo uhusiano hata baada ya uzinduzi rasmi, mtaendelea kushirikiana nao?
The journey has just started. Actually, we have been breaking the ground today. But from here onwards, we've heard how the speakers have said, the guests have said about the support. Policare is not going to stop here. By the time we get to, say, next year, this one will be working so well, and we will be having it, doing what it's supposed to do by its goals. Because now we have a press here, we will start processing things and as required. Therefore, this day was a great day where everybody has known about the objectives of this Policare that we have been having only in papers, but this time now it's on the ground.
Shukran sana Dr. Kirimi Arimi kutoka Professional Criminologists Association of Kenya. Na pengine kwa ufupi tu uelezee watazamaji wetu kidogo kuhusiana na Professional Criminologists Association of Kenya, kando na kuhusiana na Policare, baadhi ya mambo mengine ambayo mnaendelea kuyaandaa jikoni.
Thank you so much once more. Professional Criminologists Association of Kenya, or PSAC, as you have said, is a professional body that promotes professionalism and registers criminologists, so that you cannot practice without that being registered, just as it happens in other professional bodies. Now, apart from that one, we have programs for youth. We have program for youth, and we have a youth in PSAC, that is those ones who are continuing in university, criminologists who are doing studies in university, and those who have just graduated. They are with us, and we call them PSAC Youth Envoy, PYE. Now, these ones, we are exposing them to many things, skills from the elders who have experience in the field of criminology, like the police, in matters in crime investigation, detective, and all those other things. So we've got a mentorship program for them, whereby by the time they complete or by the time they get employed, they have known more about the field of criminology. And the other thing that we do is that we have a corporate social responsibility wing, that is CSR in PSAC, that assists the community or empowers the community. So what we do is that we know without the basic needs, people tend to commit crime. So what we do is that, like at this time in poor places, we assist the poor so that they can get some basic needs. Like in June this year, we've been giving food in Nairobi slums all over, and the dry foods to around 10,000 families. In so doing, we imagine that these people will not continue and go on still because of the lockdown or other restrictions. So we empower them in those manners.
Shukran sana Dr. Kirimi Arimi. Hebu tumsikize naibu wa Inspector General, naibu wa Inspector wa polisi. Huyu hapa ni naibu wa Inspector mkuu wa polisi Edward Mbugua, ambaye pia ataweza kusema tu jambo moja kuhusiana na hafla ya leo na pia hamasisho lake kwa jamii, hasa wakati huu ambapo kuna janga la COVID-19 na watu wengi hawaendi kazini, wanafanya kazi wakiwa nyumbani, na mengi kuhusiana na dhuluma za kijinsia. Karibu sana Inspector.
Asante sana. Tulikuwa tumekuja hapa kufungua Policare. We have done the ground breaking na tumeonyesha ni kitu gani inaonekana iendelee hapa. Makosa ya kunajizi watoto au watu wazima imeendelea Kenya, na kama wakati ya COVID watoto wako shuleni, wako nyumbani, hii kitu imeendelea kutendeka sana, na tunataka wao wanahudumia pahali moja. Ndio tumekuja na Policare. Mtu akiingia hapa hataenda pahali ingine, ile watu wote wanaonekana kumhudumia kuanzia na pahali atapiga report kwa polisi. Kutoka hapo iko watu wa kufanya counseling, iko nurses, iko daktari, tutakuwa na lawyers na investigators. So all of hiyo maneno yote itafanyika kwa ofisi moja, na mtu akisha report hiyo itakuwa transferred to the other stakeholders kwa kompyuta zao. Kwa hivyo hakuna pahali ingine ataweza kurudia ile maneno anasema. Ile mtu anahudumia atakuwa anaona kwa kompyuta yake ni maneno gani anaonekana kusaidia hiyo muadhiriwa. Asante.
Shukran sana Inspector General, lakini kuna swali la mwisho ambalo tungependa kuuliza. Huu mpangilio unaendelea pamoja na mipangilio mingine ambayo ananuia kuinua huduma ya polisi kwa wananchi. Kwa hivyo ungependa kueleza nini watazamaji, ni mbinu zipi za mawasiliano ambazo mtakuwa mkizitumia kuwafikia kulingana na mipango mingi ambayo mko nayo?
Kufikia sasa tuko na kile kitu tunaita toll number. This toll number ukipiga hakuna malipo yote utaitishwa, utapiga direct na halafu utaweza kuhudumia na kudirect pahali unaonekana kuenda na usaidiwe. Asante.
Shukran sana Bwana Mbugua. Mwenyezi Mungu akubariki. Thank you. Mtazamaji, kwa sasa tuko katika kibanda cha Manspace Thriving Families Kenya pia wamekuwa ni washirika ambao na bado ni washirika wa zoezi hili au mradi huu wa Policare. Na upande wangu wa kushoto namuona dada pia ambaye atatueleza haswa pia kichocheo. Lakini kabla nimpe nafasi, nimeona man space where every man speech is special. Kwa hivyo atatuelezea haswa ni kwa nini naona ni kama ni wanaume pekee. Karibu sana dada, utatueleza majina yako, nafasi yako katika shirika hili na mengine ambayo pengine ungependa kuambia watazamaji.
Naweza zungumza kimombo?
You can speak.
Thank you so much. My name is Faith Nashipae. I am the Executive Director, Thriving Families Kenya. For us at Thriving Families Kenya, we empower the family. We work with the family so that the family can become a better space. And in doing this, we identified that we have one element in the family, and that is the man, who needs to be empowered and equipped. So we don't say that we are empowering the man, we are saying that we are equipping the man to become the kind of person that we want in the society. So at ManSpace, at Thriving Families, we did a research actually with PCA Church, and the men of PCA told us we do not have safe spaces where we can speak. We don't know where to go when we want to talk about our issues. So we came up with a model, we came up with a community strategy where we engage men. We call it ManSpace. And ManSpace is a place where we engage men to come together and they speak about their issues, and it is a beautiful, beautiful environment. The few people that we've given this opportunity, they have actually we gave them 1.5 hours. They took almost 2 to 3 hours. They took almost 3 hours in a discussion, and they still said this time is not enough. So that tells us that really men need spaces where they can talk about their issues. Why are we here with Policare? Our men are being sodomized. Our grandfathers are being sodomized in Ushago. Our boys are being defiled. Our young men are being raped in universities. So we are here to partner with Policare because we feel that Policare is going to give boys and men an opportunity, an equal opportunity for their issues to be addressed. And we feel that Policare, being that the police is a non-discriminatory service, they are going to give our men and our boys a space where their issues, when they go to report, they are taken care of and they are handled with care. So we are telling the police today, and we have told the police today, that please let us have gender sensitive language. Let our men, when they come to report, they are taken care of. Wasiulizwe hata wewe mwanaume ulichapwa ama ulifanyiwa nini. Hapana, tunataka society yenye kila mtu akona space yake na kila mtu anapewa opportunity. When it comes to the boy child, we want people to recognize that boys also have needs. We have talked to NGEK today, the National Gender and Equality Commission, and we have told them we need our boys to be part of the children that they speak about. Because they say that children are special groups. But we need the boy child to also be considered as a special group when they are doing their researches and when they are doing their interventions. We've also spoken to the judiciary. We have made a recommendation today that the penal code is punitive to the boy. Because when a young boy is raped in the university and the penal code says that proof of penetration, how do you prove? When a small boy is defiled by a woman in Coast, how do you prove about penetration? How do you prove these things? We need the boy to be included in our laws. The Sexual Offences Act is also is discriminative. Why? Because it is speaking about the girl child and it is speaking about how this is supposed to happen. But nobody considers this young boy who is approached by a girl and they have sex. Then at the end of the day, it is the boy child who bears the brunt. He's the one who is arrested because the girl now is said to have been defiled. But nobody understands that the girl left her mother's house and went to the boy's house, the boy's parents' house, and that happened. Who is supposed to be in this? The two are children. So these children are supposed to bear the brunt together. It is not supposed to be the boy who carries the brunt.
Shukran sana Faith Nashipae kwa msimamo huo. Mtazamaji, hayo ni baadhi ya maoni ya washirika ambao wamejitolea kutembea na huduma ya polisi nchini Kenya Police Service katika kuhakikisha kwamba wanainua viwango vya kushughulikia masuala mbalimbali yanayohusiana na dhulma za kijinsia ambazo zimekuwa zikiongezeka kila mara katika jamii. Tumeweza kuona hafla hii ya leo jinsi imeweza kuendeshwa, ambapo naibu wa inspekta mkuu wa polisi ameweza kuwakaribisha baadhi ya viongozi ambao walialikwa kufika katika sehemu hii ili kukagua jinsi mradi huu unavyoendelea wa Policare, na wameweza kuchukua muda wao kutuelezea jinsi mradi huu utaweza kufaidi jamii. Na siku ya leo imekuwa ni siku ya kufanya kile ambacho kwa kimombo kinaitwa piloting project, kuonyesha kwamba hapa ndipo chimbuko au kianzilishi. Na jinsi tulivyosema hapo awali ni kwamba juma lijalo kaunti ya Makueni pia watakuwa na shughuli kama hii ambayo imefanyika siku ya leo, na kutokea hapo idara ya polisi pamoja na washirika wameweza kuonyesha matumaini yao ya kwamba wataendelea kufanya ushirikiano na kaunti zingine 45 ambazo zimeweza kusalia. Na kabla sijaweza kutamatisha, namwona Nderitu mwenzetu, lakini kabla aseme jambo tukimalizia, tunaye Priscilla Nyokabi, wakili tajika pamoja na kiongozi ambaye ni mpiganiaji wa haki za kijinsia na aliyekuwa mwakilishi wa kina mama. Karibu sana mheshimiwa, wasalimu wananchi na pengine useme jambo moja kuhusiana na hafla ya leo.
Asante. Haya, tuwape salamu za dhati. Na tushukuru sana kwa siku ya leo ambayo mpango mpya wa Police Care umeweza kuzinduliwa hapa katika Nairobi area, na tunafurahi sana maana sasa zile kesi za jinsia, gender based violence, na hasa zile za watoto, sexual and gender based violence kwa watoto wetu, zimeweza kupata ile tumekuwa tunatafuta, inaitwa one stop shop. Unakuja unapata kutoa ushahidi wako hapa. Kama kuna masuala ya afya unashughulikiwa katika kituo hiki, kama kuna masuala ya sheria, na tunaomba hata idara ya mahakama iweze kumleta magistrate hapa ili kesi inamaliziwa haraka, na wale ambao wanawashika watoto wetu wanaweza kufungwa na kuondolewa kwenye jamii, ili jamii yetu iwe jamii ambayo iko na amani na watu wote wanaweza kuishi kwa amani. Tunafurahi sana. Hii tunaona ukweli ni police care, na tunafurahi kwamba polisi sasa sio ile fanya fujo uone. Sasa ni utumishi kwa wote, na hasa utumishi kwa watu ambao walikuwa wametengwa, utumishi kwa masuala haya ya jinsia. Police care tunafurahi na tunawapa hongera.
Shukrani sana Mheshimiwa Priscilla Nyokabi. Kuna mama mlezi wa Policare, Superintendent Nderitu, karibu sana pia uweze kututamatishia makala haya kabla hatujaweza kurudi pale studioni. Karibu sana Zipora.
Asante sana. I want to really appreciate CAC TV for supporting us and giving us a live coverage. May the Lord bless you, the Lord do you good. May the Lord guide you in all what you're doing. So I am happy this day. We've carried this baby for the last 5 years, and today is the final day when we have seen this child being born today. Oh. So I am so excited. Thank you for the support, for all the people who turned up for today, the support from National Gender Equality Commission, the support from the magistrate, the support from the National Police Service, and everybody who turned up today. Thank you so much. This is a dream come true. I have loved to see this day come to pass. The Lord bless you, do you good. All the police officers, let's serve our nation with pride and honor and give dignity back to the victim and give justice to the victim. Thank you so much.
Shukran sana Superintendent. Mtazamaji, hayo ni baadhi ya maoni ya wale ambao wanaendelea kuweka jitihada ili kuhakikisha kwamba Policare inaweza kufikia katika kiwango ambacho kitakuwa na umuhimu mkubwa humu nchini na pia katika nyanja za kimataifa. Tumeshuhudia yote na wote ambao waliweza kushiriki kuona ya kwamba hafla hii inaweza kuwa makinika hadi tamati. Nilikuwa mtangazaji wako Cornelius Wamuse kwa niaba ya washirika wote, the Kenya Police Service, Professional Criminologists Association of Kenya, Thriving Families na mashirika zote za Autism na shirika la Women, that is WISE, na wote ambao waliweza kufika hapa siku ya leo. Nasema shukran za dhati. Hadi wakati mwingine tutakapokutana na kurudisha moja kwa moja hadi studioni.